Hello friends, it's Christy. Welcome to Bitly Ditly Has Plans. In this video, I am going to change the coil. Can you believe it? This book has gotten so thick, I feel like I'm going to try to change this coil out to a slightly larger one that I have from an EC planner I'm not using. So let's see if this works. Okay, so not long ago, I showed you sort of a top-down picture of my planner. You can see this is my Plum Paper 7x9. The 6 months so far, well, not quite 6 months, 5 months so far have made this book quite thick already. And it's like bulging off the coil. You can see here how it kind of bulges out a little bit. And I was snipping out the month of June from this Erin Condren planner, and it occurred to me, I think if I'm looking at it, I feel like these coils, the Erin Condren coil, is a little bit larger, like maybe 1/4 of an inch or so larger than the Plum Paper. And I was thinking, since I was snipping out the monthly pages and using these in my Plum Paper for my social media, I'll show you if you haven't caught any of my social media. What I do is I've been snipping it and then inserting it in and using it. I thought, you know what, maybe I had two options. I either uncoil this and take out the first 6 months and then have the last 6 months on it. Or I try and use this coil and see if this is big enough. So I'm gonna give it a try. If it doesn't work and I can't get this book back together because it is so big now, then I probably will just go ahead and split it 6 months and 6 months. So this book originally was a July to June, July 2020 to June 2021, and I split that first 6 months off. So July to December of 2020, I split it off, I put it on a coil, I have it saved up on a shelf, and I took the last 6 months, which was January through June. You can tell because it's in the their kind of older color scheme. And then I had bought a new planner that was July to June again, because I was kind of on that academic year. And once I kind of got to the end of 2020, I was like, you know what, I really want a book. I want to get back on the calendar year, January to December. And so that's when I took those 6 months out and I frankenplanned the old book and the new book, which you can see is in the new modern color scheme. I created this book. And so since the coil is getting so big, I'm going to try recoiling it with this larger Erin Condren coil. What I plan to do, I think, come November, when Plum Paper does their big Black Friday sale, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to order an 18-month planner so that I can see how big of a coil that comes on. And maybe that big of a coil will be enough for 1 year. And I'll just split out the 6 months and kind of do this, keep going on that rotation. So what are the tools of the trade? So I normally would use a gator clip like this, one of the big gator clips, but even this can't open wide enough. I tried it out. Can't open wide enough to kind of hold all of this together. So I went and raided the garage and I pulled these big clamps from my husband's stash. So I've got 2 of these. And then I have some really narrow needle nose pliers that I wrapped in just some masking tape. It's a smooth metal, but because I don't want to put metal on metal, just because to, minimize the scratching and that kind of thing, particularly because this is a gold coil and I'm sure it'll flake a little bit. I just wrapped them just to give it some more protection. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start by removing the cover, just whatever doesn't have to be coiled. I'm going to take out because it just makes it easier. It's one less thing that I have to try to wrap the coil through. And I think I had a bookmark in here somewhere. Yeah, let me just this is where I bookmark my monthly spread. So I'm going to take that out. My plastic cover is holding up okay. It is starting to crack down here. I don't know if you can see that. And that's pretty normal. Like, I'm 5 months into this book, and I think the last cover I had kind of cracked up about the same distance. if this ends up starting to crack completely, I'll just remove it because these plum paper covers are really pretty indestructible. I do like to keep it on just because it gives it more sturdiness, like stability, like stiffness is what I'm trying to say. So like if I'm writing in my book, I like kind of having that stiff back to it. So I think what I'm going to do, let me empty out this pocket, just again, putting less in there. So take all those pages out so the pocket is not quite as thick. That's where I keep all my stickers. And then this one, I don't know that it's going to matter in this one, but okay. So like I said, holding our breath, friends, this is probably, I can feel the thickness of all the stickers there. So let me try to clamp this. Okay, so I have these ginormous clamps on here, and hopefully I'm gonna move this one closer to the coil here. Hopefully that's enough to hold it. What I'm worried about is like see how the pages are like kind of spread out. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get the coil through that. It's not just like a straight stack. So I always, when I'm uncoiling, I like to go from the bottom so that if I don't bend it back as perfectly as it originally was, I don't notice it as much down at the bottom. I'm not going to care about it quite as much. And so I'm just trying to bend this so that it is as, close to the circular shape of the rest of the coil. So it'll just kind of cruise through the end. And then you do have to kind of pull this out a little bit up on top so you can get it out. And then I'm just going to start uncoiling. Oh yeah, that's okay. Well, it's coming through, friends. So I'm just going to go ahead and uncoil the rest of this. Okay, that coil is off. Wow, look at that. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna uncoil this book, but I think I'll go ahead and I can do this off camera since you can see what that's all about. I've already shown you what that's all about. I'm just gonna go ahead and it's easier when you have the pages clipped a little bit because then you don't have them flying all over. So again, I'm just gonna open up this end here and then pull this top edge out. And this is gonna be easier to uncoil because there's not as many pages in this book. Okay, so the Erin Condren pages are a little shorter than the Plum Paper, which was making it hard. You can see here, I'm gonna line this up, which would see this about 1/8 of an inch on each end, which makes it a little harder for me to coil through to get all of the holes lined up. So I'm gonna go ahead, since I snipped the first half of the year anyway, I'm just gonna snip the rest of them and I'll insert them after I get this recoiled. And what I'm doing now is I'm looking at like which of my plastic covers is like the least beat up. And I'm probably gonna put that, like you can see, they're pretty beat up. I'm gonna slip this in here and I'm only clamping this top end because at this point it starts to get a little easier if you have some flexibility in the book while you're coiling it. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll clamp these together. Okay, let me just slide this a little bit so that it's a little bit better aligned. Make sure this one is too. Okay, and then because I coil and put the bend it in on the bottom, I coil from the bottom up, so I need to get it started down here. Here he comes. Oops. There he goes. Okay, and now this will just take some finagling of getting it all coiled together. Okay, I made it through. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and push this back in. Right there. And then also take this one and put that back in. Take the clamp off and then let's check it out. Oh! My hands are hurting now, friends. They're sore. Hopefully I got through all the pages. Yep, there's a little bend in the coil there. Okay. Looks like it's intact, and I had to stop and check because I wanted to make sure I had my little page protector and my little pocket on the right, going the right way. And then let's go ahead and put my current cover back on. Oops, that's the back. These covers are not quite as easy to snap in as the Erin Condren just because they're not as stiff. So I kind of got to go ring by ring here and make sure these little plastic tabs get snapped in there. Okay. And then we'll go to the back. I think the gold coil looks kind of pretty with this pattern here. Do I have this? Oops. It's gonna need to go on this side. Okay. My hands got dirty from handling the coil and probably from my pliers. Okay. There's that. Oh, it is definitely not bulging as much as it was on the smaller coil. So what I'll go back and do then is for my social media, I will go ahead and, I didn't do it in January, I think I started this in February, this little system is, I will go ahead and just go ahead and put these back in on the coil. It's not the most ideal, but when I do my planner for next year, I'm gonna actually order an additional Plum planner tabbed monthly, and so then I will have those pages and I'll frankenplan the whole thing together all at once when I'm building my book for next year. Let me just make sure those are, yeah. So this holds it up pretty well just because I'm not flipping through those pages all that much. But yeah, so I'm gonna finish this out. All right, friends, so what I did was I went ahead and I snipped all of the rest of the months from that Erin Condren planner. So here's July is monthly, and then it's followed by my add-on page, the to-do list, so that this is where I do my little grid with my checklist, and then I have August in here, September, October, November, and then December. The Erin Condren tabs are like, I don't know, not quite twice as wide as the Plum, so I always have to, it's easy to see them. And so that is all of the pages now in this book on this coil. It does bulge out a little bit, and I'm sure it's going to get fatter as I add stickers in, but I just kind of wanted to see how it looked with the added monthly tabs in there. So it bought me a little bit of space, a little bit more room, but I'm quickly going to fill that up, I know, as I put stickers in here. Was it worth it? I don't know. I think so. I think so. Like I said, bought me a little bit of space. Kind of interesting having the gold coil. I got kind of used to having the platinum color, so I think it's good. I'm glad that I did it. Alrighty, well, I think that's it for this video. I feel like I'm set with this book for the whole year. Let's just see how fat she gets with the stickers added. Alrighty, friends, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe so you can catch future content on my channel. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.